Hello, this is a highly requested, sought after video. People have been asking me to do astrology videos since they kind of discovered me through tarot, because my astrology channel didn't really take off as much as my tarot channel because the type of astrology that I do. I am a sidereal astrologer, and a sidereal astrology is not really a well-known astrology in the United States, or actually it's not really the most popular type of astrology. Of course, the most popular type of astrology is like the zodiac you see depicted here, which is the Western zodiac, is the 12 sign zodiac, okay? This video isn't really to talk about the differences between the two. I might do a video breaking that down. I might talk about it a little bit here, but I'm not going to get really deep into it, because the reason why I don't really get too deep into that type of stuff is because I'm a teacher, and I've been a teacher. Whether you look at my sidereal chart or my Western chart, I have an Aquarius moon in Western astrology. And you know anything about Aquarius moons, they are automatically teachers. Okay, I have a Cancer sun in sidereal astrology, another placement of a teacher. My Venus is in Cancer in Western astrology, another placement of a teacher. So I have a lot of teaching energy in my chart. I have a lot of energy that suggests that I need to be in the occult, so that's what I do. All right, so I don't like to debate. That's the whole point. I don't really need to debate. If I'm teaching something, it's because I've done immense research on it, and it's what I believe. And if you need facts to back up why I believe that, that's fine, but I'm not going to like debate, because the reason that there's no reason to debate is because, one, astrology is not an actual physical thing that we can see. Like, we all can't go to the sky right now and see the constellation of Leo. We kind of have to go off of what we know or have been told about astrology, right? It's a secondhand thing, just like any other religion or any spiritual system or whatever that you believe in. So there's really no point in debating it. If you find a well-rounded person who's very well-versed in occult type of things, they will tell you that there are so many different types of astrology, and a majority of them are accurate. There's no reason to debate it. Western astrology has its place, sidereal astrology has its place, and Vedic astrology definitely has its place, okay? Those are the three big kahunas for me. There's also an Ethiopian zodiac. There's so many different, there's Chinese astrology, which is pretty damn bomb, okay? I'm a horse, okay? A metal horse at that, which means you're a more Venetian type of person. So you can know yourself on so many different levels with so many different systems, okay? There's a Yoruba system, there's Voodoo, there's Hoodoo. There's so many things that can tell you why you are the way you are, okay? So astrology is one of the most common ones, okay? And especially, like I said, Western astrology. So what is astrology? Astrology is the study. It's just like, to me, a version of, it's kind of like psychology. Okay. This is why you find a lot of astrologers are actually a lot like psychologists, because they study a certain placement in your chart and how that makes you act. Okay. So astrology is a big indicator of how you will interact with the outside world. Okay. And how you should interact with the outside world to benefit yourself. And why do I say should? Because I'm not a big person about what you should do and I'm not a big about shoulds. But what I mean by that is how does interacting with the collective benefit you more as a person, and on a soul level and on a karmic level? Okay. There's ways that we naturally interact with people that may not be conducive to our karma. Okay. For instance, I have Mars in the 12th house. I'm going to use myself a lot as an indicator, or any other person that I may know that has a certain placement. It's just how I teach. All astrologers teach like this. Okay, so I have Mars in the 12th house. This makes me unaware of the level of anger that I have, because my Mars is in my 12th house. So 12th house is up in here, and it's a hidden house. It's a house that you are not aware of. It's your subconscious house. It's actually the things that you do that sabotage yourself and you don't even know it. So my Mars being there, the way that I am as a person, because Mars is how you deal with things, right? How you go at things. It's in Aries in the 12th house. So automatically that means I have unresolved anger. I have anger that I'm not even aware of. And what made me realize this is having children, actually. It made me realize I have a lot of pent up anger, and I have to go to therapy for that. That's something that if I was to just interact with my children or anyone with all that Mars and 12th house energy, that would probably fuck my karma up. I'd probably wind up doing something that isn't really helpful because of all the anger that I have unresolved. But knowing that, I know, okay, I have a lot of unresolved anger that I haven't got tapped to. Also, I'm a little bit more aggressive than I think I am. A lot of people like, you come off so this and that. And I'm like, dude, what? You know, I'm telling you. So that is one of the things that's like, you may think that you're a certain type of way, but this astrology can tell you how to remedy something. Like in Vedic astrology, they call it remedies. Okay, how do you deal with the energies that you are born under? Because that's what matters. Okay, now if you have certain placements, if you look over certain placements, it will tell you the type of career that you need to go into. Like a lot of times people will go into certain careers and they're miserable. They're thinking this is what they wanted to do. Most likely, a lot of people go into their south node. They go into things that they did in a past life. Okay, for instance, using my chart again, right? I have my south node conjunct my sun, and it's in Cancer. So with that being said, I'm automatically a teacher, a nurturer, a mother type of figure. So what did I do very early in my life? I went to school for teaching because that's what I did in my past life. I became a mother very early in my life at 20 and 21. Okay, I was very nurturing. I was very motherly. Okay, I was very tapped into my sun energy, and that is not conducive to my reality this life. Okay, yes, I still need those things because they help me, especially with my south node being conjunct. Obviously there's something from the past life that I need to bring over, but it doesn't mean I need to stay in that energy. Teaching, yes, teaching, but teaching like this, not the traditional sense. Like I was about to go be a high school history teacher because I loved history and I wanted to teach high school. I didn't want to teach little kids. So I was like, and I could probably still do that, but it's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be teaching this type of stuff. Okay, I have my moon in the 9th house, which is opposite my sun. So my moon in the 9th house, which is conjunct my north node, right? And your north node is what you're meant to do. That is talking about higher levels of education. The 9th house is professors, it's college, it's going around the world and traveling and experiencing things, experiencing spiritual things and relaying it to people. That's why if I would have went back and did traditional school, I would have been miserable. So luckily I got hip to what I'm supposed to be doing and I do what I'm supposed to be doing and my life is greatly benefiting from that. So I just use those examples to let you know that astrology is something that people don't think it matters and people are like, oh, it does. And I'm telling you that, like, if you get your chart read by a good astrologer, a lot of things, a lot of questions that you have about why things happen to you, because I've done people's charts and I look at their childhood and I'm like, oh, this and this happened to you. And they're like, how the hell do you know that? Because it's in your chart. Like, and hopefully people comment on this video that I've done their charts. I actually have not. I've done a lot of people's charts actually, but on tarot and like on a wider scale, tarot is something I've done more. So people of course have a lot to say more about me as a tarot reader, but astrology, that is my bag. That's my niche. Okay. That's how I started all of this. So when I get into somebody's chart, I'm like, oh, this is what you need to be doing. This is who you're going to be with. This is the type of person you're going to be with, or you might not even be with somebody. You might not even decide to get married. This is why, because maybe your Juno is in a certain planet. Juno is the ruler of partnerships. Well, she's not the ruler, but she has a significant effect on who you marry. Okay, so a lot of people want to know who you will marry. I got married to someone who has their Juno exactly conjunct mine. Conjunct means that they sit together. So when I got married, I actually got married to someone I was meant to be married to. Okay, now did we get a divorce? Yes, that's also in my chart. I have a significant placement that says that I would need to get married twice. My second marriage will be the most successful marriage. That's all in my chart. And people will go through life suffering, not knowing, well, why? Like, I could go in my life and be like, oh, well, why did my first marriage work out? Well, actually, and I learned that for getting my Vedic chart read. I didn't even know that. I had a Vedic astrologer read my chart. And I'm telling you, Vedic astrology, if you don't get your Vedic chart read, I don't know what to tell you, okay? If you do anything, get you a good Vedic astrologer to read your charts, because Vedic astrologers actually are, to me, the most, in my opinion, the most, thorough. They're the most thorough and the most precise to me, because their system is real deep. Okay, and 12 sign astrology is deep as well, but I mean the Navamsha charts, the Dina, all the different charts that they have in astrology. Like, you have a chart specifically for marriage, you have a chart specifically for your career, you have a chart specifically for children and stuff like that. You have all that. So if you've never gotten your chart read by a good Vedic astrologer, please do. I'm not even a Vedic astrologer, so this ain't gonna benefit me. It's gonna benefit you. Okay, so astrology, like I said, I love astrology. I think that a lot of people downplay it because they don't understand it, or they may have a negative mindset on it because someone told them to have a negative mindset. But honestly, even like the Bible, a Christian, a big Christian thing, is based off of astrology. Literally, like the 12 sign zodiac is what the Bible is based off of. So it's like you guys have this negative idea about it, but it's actually, to me, one of the most, it's a tool that you can utilize to help you grow so much. Like, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing and why I'm supposed to be doing it. That is one of the major things for humans, because once you know what you're supposed to be doing and why you're supposed to be doing it, everything else is not as difficult for you. There's still gonna be difficulties, but once you know how you come off to people, how you appear to people, once you know what are your strengths to play up. Like, for instance, I have a Venus in Gemini, so me communicating with people love to hear me communicate. I have a Leo and Mercury. People love to hear me tell stories. Okay, people love to hear me talk. I have strong Mercury placements. I have strong Gemini placements. Okay, so why not play up that part of my energy? You know what I'm saying? Which actually benefits me because I have a Chiron in Gemini, which says that I wasn't listened to enough as a child. I didn't think that what I had to say was important. So to heal that mindset and to heal that wound, which is what Chiron is about, I'm now communicating. I now know that the things that I say are very important. I now know that people do want to hear what I have to say. Okay? So I just use myself and try to use as many examples as I can to let you guys know, like, if you haven't got your chart read, you're kind of, if you only know what your sun sign is and your moon and your rising, but you don't know that your sun squares your moon, or you don't know that your sun is opposite your moon, or you don't know that your Venus is opposite your Saturn, you're not understanding how these planets are affecting you. Okay, yes, you have an Aries rising, and that makes you, it actually doesn't make you dominant. A lot of people think, oh, well, I have an Aries rising, so I'm dominant. It actually probably makes you not dominant, and you're here to experience being dominant if you have an Aries rising. You're someone who's here to experience asserting yourself and being about yourself. Like, my son has a true Aries rising. One of the most cooperative, I care about the team, I care about people and friends person I have ever met. I have to tell him all the time, you have to be okay with being alone. I don't like being alone. And he's 8, 9. Okay, this is something that's coming out in his chart. And as a mother, I know my children's charts very well. That's another thing. Your children's charts help you understand a lot of things. It actually helps you understand the effect that you will have on your child, so you can kind of like combat that a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, I know my son, my oldest, has a Capricorn moon. I have a Capricorn moon too. That's one of the worst placements if you're talking about your relationship with your mother. It's a very difficult placement to have. I have one. So knowing that, and knowing that me and my son's relationship can go real left because of that placement, I try to make it less business oriented, because when you have a Capricorn moon, it's like your relationship with your mom is very transactional, very Capricorn like. Okay, it can be hard. So instead of being that hard business, like, this is what you're gonna do, and being like that as a mom, I try to show a little bit more compassion. I try to hug them a little bit more. I try to give them a little bit more feelings, give them a little more of that Cancer energy that I have, because I don't want to have that negative effect that me and my mom had to go through. Me and my mom are better now, and trust me, if you have a Capricorn moon, it may seem so negative when you read about it, but business-wise, shit, you gonna be dominating business because you already know the energy of business. You already understand the transactional nature of business because of your mother. So it can be negative when you're talking about, oh, well, she didn't hug me enough, and she only seemed to like me when I did things and stuff like that. Yeah, but in the end of the day, you're gonna be a business mogul. You're gonna be like on top of your shit. Okay, like Oprah has a lot of true Capricorn energy. Okay, they call her Aquarius, but she actually has a lot of true Capricorn energy. This is why she's so great with business. Okay, so you can always look at astrology and be like, oh, well, I have this conjunct and it's negative, but honestly, a lot of the negative planets, because of the way the world is, actually tend to be positive. A lot of the debilitated planets, which are planets that are in signs that are not necessarily the best planets for them, like if you have a Mars in Cancer, that's a really bad place for Mars, but you can find a way to flip that. Like, you may have been someone who was abused as a child. If you have Mars in Cancer, you can go out and help other people who were abused as children. Okay, you just don't throw that shit away just because it happened to you and it was negative. You turn your ills into mills. Okay, that's what astrology is about. It really is. Okay, so you can have one of the worst charts ever and still live a really magnificent life. I've heard that Warren Buffett actually has a pretty shitty chart, but I mean, his life isn't shitty, you know? So that's kind of what I have for astrology. I'm going to keep this kind of light. And if you want your chart read, of course, you can always contact me through email. Do keep in mind that I am a sidereal astrologer, so I will probably shift back between the two to kind of help you. But I read the way that I read, and I still think you'll get the benefit out of it. Okay? Bye.